So guys, the other day we made a video where Andrew Tate was going off on Meghan and Harry over the documentary on Netflix and was saying that Meghan's using race to disguise the fact that she's just a not likable person, and now has spoke about it more on an interview and backs up his original thoughts.
So Andrew Tate, great to have you here. People are so terrified when talking about Harry and Meghan because they're worried that they're going to be accused of racism. You're clearly not worried about that.
No, I'm not worried about that. I refuse to live in an absolute fantasy, and people are dodging around the true issue. I'm a person of color myself, but I don't think that's why I'm inspired to speak the truth. The fact that racism is being used as a justification for the fact that she isn't liked by the majority of people is a cop-out. It's not the case. She does not garner any kind of racism in day-to-day life. She's less dark-skinned than me, and I certainly haven't suffered from any racism. So I don't think race has anything to do with it. I think she's just a dislikable person and is trying to find another excuse for that, for people to treat her that way.
And this fits into one of your bigger narratives, doesn't it? Which is that you're very worried that men today seem to be embracing the idea of being victims. And you say that one of the reasons that you are a resilient human being is because you have lived through trauma, but that trauma actually propelled you to success rather than bringing you down to victimhood.
Yeah, the baseline of masculinity is that bad things are going to happen to you, and you're going to absorb them, and you're going to use them and to grow into a more competent individual. If you look at what society expects of men and what even females expect of men, they expect a man of competence. And for you to be competent, you have to have lived through some things. To be good at being a man, you have to have had a hard life. If you look at any superhero, his life was hard. This is the reality of it. And I think that the demasculinization of men is a genuine plague we are suffering with in the West. And Harry, in many ways, he's ended up a beacon for that. You know,
so you think he has been emasculated by Meghan?
To a degree, certainly. He certainly lost a lot of the respect of the people and the people who were fans of the royal family. They've certainly lost a lot of their respect, and Meghan has something to do with that. It's certainly the way she talks about the royal family as a whole, the way she talks to him and about him. There's certainly an element of people waiting for him to stand up and say, listen, that's the royal family. You can't talk that way, or you decided to be with me. There were certain things you were expected to do. But he simply just allows her to demasculinize him in public, and everybody feels uncomfortable with it.
If you guys haven't watched the documentary they've dropped on Netflix, they outed the royal family on a bunch of things. They spoke about suing the Daily Mail as well. They had a lot of back and forth with the press in that documentary, but the main thing that called for concern was basically them accusing certain members of the royal family of racism against Meghan. Her mother, of course, appears in that documentary and is black, but Andrew Tate says that she's playing the race card when she is barely black herself, and says that people of full colour should be the ones playing it. He even invited her over to cook him chicken in the last video to determine how black she was. How do you guys feel about this situation and Andrew Tate's view on it? Leave a like and subscribe with the notification bell.